This is the third time I've tried to record this. I'm getting really frustrated, so uh, if I could help it, I'd like to do this without having to edit. Hi, this is Venema. I need to update you on the past several weeks, but I need to do it in one take, no editing. I had to move. There was an inordinary, whatever the word is, number of major challenges. I also had I also had a problem with my laptop, which I already posted a video of me fixing. Just a few days after my move, there was a circuit breaker problem in the house, and my server didn't recover. My server is supposed to go right here. But it's right here. I had to put it right here where my laptop goes to work on it for several days. I thought I had several hard drives that went bad, which was pretty devastating. And then with help from a friend, I was able to deduce that actually it was the SATA cords, the things that plug the hard drives into the motherboard. And then there were still a couple of problems. It's a server, so it doesn't need to have a screen, mouse, or keyboard plugged into it all the time, except for when I'm troubleshooting. While I was troubleshooting, the screen stopped working. It works fine with my laptop, but not my server. Can't figure out why. It's a problem for another day, because I've had it up to here with one problem after another that I just can't figure out, that I'm at my wit's end. I was able to run some tests, and I finally got the server up and running. I was able to tell that it turned on because the keyboard lights flashed, which means it passed this test called POST. Don't remember what it stands for. I couldn't tell if it booted up, couldn't tell if I could still access my hard drives, so I used this thing. You know what the command line is? It's this thing on computers. There's another problem. Gotta deal with it. Oh, you're working now for some reason? You're plugged in before, don't know what the problem was. So, and now I have to start all over because I can't remember what I was saying. So, So there's this thing where you can remote into another computer. I was able to do that on my server from my laptop. That allowed me to determine that my server had indeed rebooted. I had no idea if I had still lost all the stuff on my hard drives. I'm telling you all this now so I don't have to create another 45-minute long video that I would have to spend a ton of time editing also. I've got a bunch of videos like that I already need to edit, and I'm trying to cut down on my workload, which so far is not working out well because I've had to record this video several times now. Audio problems, alarms on my phone going off, cutting out my video, Just one thing after another. The case on the phone pushes the little dongle out so that my mic doesn't stay connected, blah, 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 blah. So I'm, all this time was supposed to be used for editing those videos. I found out that I had not lost all my files because there's this program called WinSCP. I think it stands for Secure Copy. It's a way of transferring files to another computer. If you can't connect to them, you know, like when you plug in a hard drive or a thumb drive or something, and an icon for that storage shows up in my computer or on your desktop or whatever. This thing is supposed to do that because of a program or a utility that runs in the background called SMB or Samba, if that helps you to remember it. Not all versions actually are called Samba, so I'm just going to call it Samba to help you remember if you're not technically inclined. I used WinSCP, Win Secure Copy, to determine that all my stuff was actually still on the drives, but because I set this up a year ago, I was afraid that maybe, just maybe, I was fooling myself because I desperately needed that stuff that's on this server. And I don't want to think that I had it after being devastated that I lost it, just to find out that yes, in fact, I was stupid for thinking that I got it back, and I actually did lose it. No ridiculousness. I needed to know unequivocally that I did not lose my files. So I used WinSCP since Samba was not working. And I pulled a file off of the RAID array. I explained in another video what that is. And I checked the files on my backup drive. Just in case there was a cache saying, yes, you have all your files, and so I'm seeing a bunch of files, but they're not actually there, I copied one. And it played on my computer. So they're there. That was a monumental relief. The screen still did not work. Samba did not work. Couldn't figure out why. And then I was just like, let's call it a night. I got work in the morning. I want to be done with. So I'm like, all right, we're done fixing motherboard, SATA cord, hard drive problems. I was bundling all the cords back up again so they're in a neat, mass. And not just all over the place like you have a bad hair day of cords all around my server. I don't want to walk past it and something like grabs onto my sleeve and I don't know it and I keep walking and then I pull my server and it falls on the ground and breaks into 500 pieces. All the stuff on my hard drives are gone because, just so you know, FYI, hard drives cannot deal with shocks. If you drop it and it's a mechanical hard drive, your stuff is probably gone. It's still on the platters, but the stuff that reads and writes to the platters is all broken. So it costs a bloody fortune to get back what was not scratched on the platters. I'm not going to be able to pay to do that. So I'm really riding on this thing just continuing to work. Confirmed it works with WinSCP. I'm bundling those cords back up. And I move the server right here. And it wouldn't pass post. The keyboard lights would not turn on. The screen already didn't turn on, so that wasn't going to help me test it either. I couldn't access it remotely and see if it booted up. So I Moved it back over here and started working on it. It turned on, no problems. I moved it back here. It wouldn't turn on. I was beside myself. I was so frustrated. What on earth is happening between here and here? This makes no sense. The only things that are changing is that I'm plugging in right here instead of into this little box right here. So I tried another port on this box. Didn't boot. I plugged into this power strip. Didn't boot. I pulled this power strip all the way over there. Didn't boot. I changed the Ethernet cord that I was using while it was right here. That's not going to cause it to fail post. That's not going to stop it from booting. But a drowning man will grab onto anything. So I changed the Ethernet cord that I was using here. There's a little green one right here. And I changed it to the white, really long cord that I was using right here. It didn't boot. No surprise. But at this point, I don't know why. The breaker flipped again. I'm so frustrated by this. This is what broke the server in the first place. I moved the server back over here. It worked just fine over there. And then we had the breaker do what it just did again. And Samba started working after we fixed the breaker. No explanation. So I've been troubleshooting it for several weeks and only just got back online a few days ago. Still has problems. I recorded most of it, which will take time to edit. I was transferred at work from processing furniture to books, which I have done now twice, and I am really good at it. It is my favorite job there, and I'm particularly good and fast at it. I feel like I said something twice. Really good at it and fast at it usually. My weight gain has made it harder to move. I have reached a head in so many situations over the past month that I have finally reached a point. I lost my place. A point I didn't think I would ever meet. I struggled terribly with having faith, as my church teaches, but I'm starting to trust now that when I pray for help, I will get it. I have been so overwhelmed that that I have not been working out or dieting, but I want to change that today. I have motivation right now. I have 3 things I am looking forward to job-wise right now. For IT, an agency I'm working with will be helping me with job searching, my resume, and interviewing, and a few other things too. Another thing that's been in the works for a while is someone through networking with a few people may let me shadow them doing IT, which I will try to add to my resume. I don't know if they take me out one time, I don't know how I'm gonna add that to my resume, but I guess maybe there's a way that doesn't look awkward or out of place or something. And that may happen in September. And then there's someone at church who is helping people in my situation, and it turns out he is also in IT, and I will also he will also help me with my resume. I don't know what else will come of that, but I imagine he may also help in getting an IT job somehow. I have been having a feeling when I pray that good things are coming. I have felt feelings like this before. I've been deceived many times, but I believe this time is different because of the subtlety, the dual nature of these feelings. They're meaningful, but they speak to both the mind and the heart. I don't really know how to explain it any better than that. I will be working much of today to edit those unposted videos, and I want to start trying to do keto today or tomorrow. It may be tomorrow because today what I would do is have a protein shake. I may not feel up to that because I already ate today. I was discouraged last time when I went to the gym. Many of the machines I use require sitting, and their seats are just too uncomfortable at my current weight. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on doing keto by dieting, and start going to the rec center to do walks, and I may have a solution for like when I'm on keto. When you're on keto, you don't quite have as much energy as you do when you eat carbs and sugar. It's kind of like with carbs and sugar, and if you're just doing keto, then it's more like this. You can almost do just as much. And then, like, if you try to jog or something when you're doing ketosis, you crash really bad if you don't have the stamina. So fat can only be oxidized so fast, and so if you really push it, then you don't even really have very much energy to think. Because like I would go to 2 years ago when I was going to school and I was doing keto and I was going to the gym and I was jogging, all this stuff. I would go do all of that stuff and then go to school, and I used up everything I had, and so I would feel dizzy and everything walking around, and it would just be that way for the rest of the day. But even just sitting in my chair trying to do schoolwork, I would feel like I was drunk because I was completely out of energy. I couldn't even think. And so I have a solution for whenever that happens, if I'm ever able to start jogging again. I think that will probably happen, but I don't know. So on the days that I'm doing keto, I'm just going to wear ankle weights and a weighted vest and do several laps. And when I'm not in ketosis, and I don't know how often I'll come out of ketosis, but if I do, I'll do jogs. And I really didn't want to give up jogging 2 years ago, but I went into ketosis for the reasons I just explained. I crashed. And so I was doing that every day, and I had to stop because you can't really function at all once you've crashed. You know, I wouldn't recover until I had gone to bed and woken up the next day. So, I can't remember anything else I was going to say. I had everything written down on my desktop, and the breaker flipped again, so all that's gone. I spent an hour writing this and that, and now that's all gone, so I can't even tell you what that said. So next time you see me this next week, I will have started ketosis. I'm not going to be perfect, not going to be hardcore. I'm still going to like have a cheat meal every week, at least one. But the next several days, I'm going to be really trying for ketosis. That's it for now. Like, share, subscribe. This has been Venema.